Well,
Yeah, yesterday.
right. So our team is what's up for you party, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna spread it open real wide, and
All right.
create a lot of different scenarios, and of course, we'll educate based on the knowledge that we have.
No problem.
All right, cool.
One ecosystem, you know them. We not frightened for nobody, but we respect everybody, and we better than everybody. So we will run with anybody. No fear, no better than we. No kind, no better than we. Step on me one and say, one ecosystem to the world you say. One ecosystem will do something, do something, do something, do something. Uno do something, do something. I'm not talking. One ecosystem will do something, do something, do something, do something. Uno do something, do something. I'm not bag of lip chasing. Hey, hey.
And good evening to Trinidad and good evening, Caribbean. Good evening to Trinidad and Tobago. Good evening, Caribbean. Good evening, world. This is that wonderful show, Beyond 2021. It's the show that takes you into the emerging technologies, blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, digital currency or digital assets. Yes, and financial technology. So we hope that you are locked on. We want to engage you this evening in an active and a very dynamic show. It's the 13th of April, 2022. It's Wednesday again, and we welcome one and all to this very interesting show where we talk about the digital space, the cyber world, the emerging technologies. I'm happy to be here with you. I'm your host, Brother Noel Emmanuel Jack. With me is Mr. Dwayne Kiddies. Hello, my dear brother.
Good evening, Brother Noel.
Yes. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. I'm excellent. Thank you. And of course, welcome to our viewers on Gael channel. And you know what we're saying this evening is what's in it for you? What's in it for you? Becoming a part of this global community. How will it benefit you? How will it benefit your business? How will it benefit your children? And of course, we are missing in action this evening our co-host Cliff and Donna Samlal Singh. We're not sure if they might chime in a little later down in the conversation, but definitely we have lots to talk about. Come next week, please God, the gas prices are going up, right? The subsidies are basically being taken away little by little. And of course, we know that that is going to affect the cost of goods and services. Many taxi associations are already up in arms in terms of fear increases, and the public is reacting and responding, some negative, some positive, some in between, because it's going to impact everyone. And of course, locally here, we heard the Minister of Works and Transport saying that our local transit system is not going to be impacted by this increase, even though that organization or that corporation is heavily subsidized already. So it can't be all bad, folks. There is a silver lining behind the cloud. So let's stay optimistic. Yeah, Brother Noel?
Exactly. And we just want to, before we continue our show this evening, we just want to send out deepest condolences to Ivan, Mark, and Michelle Mark, our power couple in the One Ecosystem, on the passing of Ivan's sister. We're so sorry to hear, and we wish all God's graces to them, comfort, and, strength at this point in time, because, it is not easy to face the death of your loved one. Sure. Also, we want to shout out Mr. King James, wherever he is in the world, the captain of this awesome network in 196 plus countries of the world. The ecosystem is what we're going to be talking about this evening. What's in it for you? You heard Dwayne Cadiz talk about, okay, yes, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to come right back as we delve into what is in it for you, the One Ecosystem, part 2. Stay tuned.
Get started now. Get started with your One Academy package. Get started with your starter package. It's only $1,600 TT. Get your financial education from the One Academy. Although it's a beginner package, the information you're going to get from your One Academy starter package, you would have more knowledge than 90% of the world's population on finance for just $1,600 TT. Let's create a revolution. Let's spread the epidemic of our One Academy, One Life. Get it today.
Welcome to the Antediluvian Nature Center of Life Extension and Health Recovery. Coming from the Garden of Eden, the Antediluvian Nature Center brings to you breakthrough medicines and anti-aging technologies for all ailments and diseases in the body, nutritional therapies, naturopathic treatments, and celebrate longevity. And remember, the healing is from God.
Do you know? What am I speaking about? Do you know what is cryptocurrency? Do you know what is blockchain technology? Are you aware of what we currently face on a regular basis with quantitative easing, fractional reserve lending? Do you know? I am inviting you to come out of the financial darkness and into financial light. The only way for us to achieve that is with education. And one particular type of education is what I'm speaking about. I'm asking you to join the One Academy. It is a financial revolution of teaching regarding introduction to finance, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, helping you understand the world of money and what is money. What is money? Money is simple. It is what we agree upon to exchange for goods and services. If you want full comprehension, join the One Academy.
When I'm training for professional competitions, men and women always ask me for advice. To women, I say push yourself harder than you ever have before and go beyond your comfort zone. focus on your goals. Men, if I am willing to push myself to become Mr. Olympia in 2022, then I only have one thing to say to you. Bring your
full 100.
Here we go again.
So welcome back to our viewers on Gael channel. And of course, now I have the privilege of introducing our co-hosts Cliff and Donna Samla Singh. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Welcome, 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 Donna.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. We were scrambling to get in, but the show must go on.
Yes.
Technological difficulties, but that's the world we live in. Technology is what's leading us right now in everything and every way, right? We have some exciting things this evening as usual, but we have to say our disclaimer first. Is that good, guys?
Yeah.
Yes, certainly.
All right, so let's read our disclaimer. We are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice, nor are we your financial advisors. The topic discussed on this show are purely for educational considerations and are not meant to be misconstrued as financial nor investment advice. And as we take off this evening, we want to open with a video hot from the pot. So can we get that video now? And then we have things to talk about as we move forward into our evening show.
I'm Ari Paul, CIO of Block Tower Capital, and this is why there's value in cryptocurrency.
Why do you fundamentally...
Okay. Sorry about that. Just a little sip up. It's the one with the bottles and so on. The last one I sent.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
We'll have to add a little bit, folks, but I know that because social media is a buzz with what's happening, and of course, everyone is so well connected, you all might have heard or seen the video where this gentleman was going through the calculations of basically the loss of buying power, right? For the subsidies that have been touched by our current finance minister now for the third time. Is it, Cliff? Is it accurate?
Yes.
Right. Yep. So basically what he was underscoring is showing John public by the use of 1 liter bottles how much our buying power has diminished over the last 3 interactions that the finance minister has had with the gas subsidy, showing that our buying power from $100 in value in terms of the liters of gas has now gone down to about $60 in depreciation or depreciated value. And of course, that underscores one of the main points that we make on our show, especially today, when we say what's in it for you. Because we here who are on set are a part of a global community where we have an asset, a new digital asset that doesn't depreciate over time, but it appreciates. So we are experiencing the opposite of what most citizens in our nation and around the world, in certain parts of the world, we are basically experiencing something opposite where our buying power actually increases with time. And that's based on the fact that our members, as they come into the community, they get knowledge, they become knowledgeable in matters of finance. They understand that cryptocurrency represents the new shift in asset base. So we know that gold is an asset, we know that silver is an asset, we know that land is an asset, we know that shares of different organizations are assets and create cash flow. But now we're saying that cryptocurrency is the latest asset on the block. And because of its performance and the global community, we experience the reverse of inflation. So, you know, it's a little difficult to show some examples, but I'll leave it up to my able-bodied co-host to chime in now.
Dwayne, listen, I listened to you just now. You opened with a statement as to what is inflation, which is quoting you, or I should say paraphrasing you, is loss of buying power with your money.
Correct.
You know, that is extremely important what you said. I'll tell you why. The economic meaning, as far as I recall, for inflation, what economists normally tout, and what we, the people, have been taught in schools, is that inflation is where prices are increasing on items over a period of time. You understand? Now, there is a big difference between what you just said and the perception people are left with as what inflation is. See if you can understand me, see if you can follow me through. If what I don't understand, please stop me and I'll try to explain what I'm saying again. You see, when you look at it as inflation is the price increases, right, in whatever you're going and buy, that is not inflation. That is the result of inflation.
Correct.
There's a big difference. You see, if you are looking to address inflation at that point, what you are doing is not addressing the source, but rather you're chasing the echo.
Mm-hmm.
So if you understand that inflation really is the root source of inflation, really, the root source of inflation is the diminishing or the eroding value of your money, or the eroding buying power of your money, as Dwayne went on to start off saying. If you understand that, then you could say, okay, then how can we address this inflation? Well, if you look at the industrial age in the Americas, which would have been the late 1800s and so on, into the early 1900s, inflation was very low. Why? What has happened differently so that inflation, meaning that the buying power of your money was steady at a particular point in time for a number of years, whereas it has changed now. You understand? So once people could understand that that used to exist at one time, then why cannot exist again? And if you understand that it existed back then, and there were different variables that now cause you to become a prisoner to a falling value in your money, then if you want to get let out of jail, you have to understand where the key is. And that's all we try to discuss here. We try to show you, hey, listen, you no longer to stay in them bars, you know. Okay? So, understand something is a big difference. Understand also that is not only Trinidad and Tobago going through that. We who subscribe to the almighty US dollar, well, the America's statistics show that since the advent of when they used to claim they were the gold standard back then in the early 1920s, till now, statistics can show you, and that can be verified by any research by anybody, whereby the value of their $1 bill now, when compared to back in 1920, it now stands at between 3 and 2 cents worth.
Correct.
So the American dollar has fallen by 98 cents on every dollar since back then. It means now the prices have increased 9,800% since then. 9,800%.
Cliff.
Yeah.
You're breaking the hearts of all the viewers tonight, you know, because we wanted to give them some hope. We wanted to let them know that there is a silver lining.
Yes, but you see, I need people to understand what is the meaning of inflation, and we go around with a perception it's just price increases and things. It's much more than that. It is the dollar that you're working hard to go after for 8, 10, 12 hours a day, which you go after. And the dollar that you're working at, which you believe, because you have been told that this is the way to success. No matter how much you try to go after it, the value is falling all the time. That is why they tell you, the successful people tell you, the true gateway to wealth is not how much money you make, it's how much you keep.
You need to put a pin in that because we need to take a break. You need to soak in that information and really try to cipher it out. We're looking at hope. All right, do it. So we'll be back shortly. Take a break at this point in time.
Get started now. Get started with your One Academy package. Get started with your starter package. It's only $1,600 TT. Get your financial education from the One Academy. Although it's a beginner package, the information you're going to get from your One Academy starter package, you would have more knowledge than 90% of the world's population on finance for just $1,600 TT. Let's create a revolution. Let's spread the epidemic of our One Academy, One Life. Get it today.
Welcome to the Antediluvian Nature Center of Life Extension and Health Recovery. Coming from the Garden of Eden, the Antediluvian Nature Center brings to you breakthrough medicines and anti-aging technologies for all ailments and diseases in the body, nutritional therapies, naturopathic treatments, as we create opportunities of hope and celebrate longevity. And remember, the healing is from God.
Do you know? What am I speaking about? Do you know what is cryptocurrency? Do you know what is blockchain technology? Are you aware of what we currently face on a regular basis with quantitative easing, fractional reserve lending? Do you know? I am inviting you to come out of the financial darkness and into financial light. The only way for us to achieve that is with education. And one particular type of education is what I'm speaking about. I'm asking you to join the One Academy. It is a financial revolution of teaching regarding introduction to finance, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, helping you understand the world of money and what is money. What is money? Money is simple. It is what we agree upon to exchange for goods and services. If you want full comprehension, join the One Academy.
When I'm training for professional competitions, men and women always ask me for advice. To women, I say push yourself harder than you ever have before and go beyond your comfort zone. Focus on your goals. Men, if I am willing to push myself to become Mr. Olympia in 2022, then I only have one thing to say to you. Bring your
full 100.
Here we go again.
So to our wonderful viewers, we want to break down the parable because, you know, we want to communicate, we want to share with you guys. So Cliff, Donna, and I were having this conversation, Brother Noel, of course. Listen, with the advent of paper currency came that problem of inflation. When those dollars, those certificates were created, from that point until now, we have loss of buying power because listen, that monetary system wasn't created to benefit you and I. It was created to steal value from us, and that's the reality. So in a nutshell, that is it. But we know that there are lot more contributions coming out of Cliff than our brother Noel myself.
But listen, I know, because I was reminded of the air that I may have gotten a little heavy. But persons need to understand that what goes on behind the scenes is what dictates what is our reality. And if you could understand that and appreciate that, then you decide whether you want to be part of that system. What you're saying is so true. Now, I also want to remind persons that the same almighty US, even though I've spoken about the true dollar value now when compared to, as Dwayne rightfully quoted, 1913, the 2 cents worth compared to 1913, how come, if people would be asking, how come if America has gone through this situation, they still have the respect of about 2/3 of the world who use the US dollar as the de facto currency, meaning as the fallback currency in addition to theirs? How come? Well, one of the very main strategies that America uses is not something that they should be proud of. A friend and I were discussing, and he shared with me recently, I wasn't aware of this fact. Would you believe, in fact, he texted me, would you believe that after World War II, right, he was sharing with me, after World War II, the mighty America invaded, bombed, or sabotaged various countries to say they're preserving their interests. What is their interest? Their interest is trying to ensure that people have confidence in the US dollar. That is it, plain and simple. Would you guys want to guess how many countries after World War II this took place? 10, you say? 10 countries?
It's an extensive list.
It's over 50 various countries and periods of time since World War II. World War II ended in 1945. So America had to use war and scare tactics to be able to preserve the confidence level in the eroded value of the US dollar. And that is it. You would learn that in economic school.
And the game of monopoly continues.
And the game of monopoly continues. Why? Because you have a big stick over here. If you don't accept it this way, you are going to be branded and you're going to feel the wrath. All right? So, enough heavy talk. Enough.
A quick breakdown. Dwayne was saying something. So let me just bring this into a little perspective. So we're saying that the more money in the economy causes the rise. Am I right?
Yes.
The more, if you print more money.
Oh, right. There's a difference. There is a difference. You see, when the money that is in the economy reflects the productivity,
right, it goes against
of the citizens who are using it. That is good.
But if I print more money,
right, the mere fact now that you have to be printing in more money, right, and it is not met by productivity.
I got you.
It is to service past debts. Right. You understand?
So then things go up.
And it generates it. Why? You know why?
Yes, it generates
the simple and elementary forces of demand and supply always come to.
All right, so I got you. Okay, the light went on.
Okay, I hope with the viewers they can see it also.
The light went on.
So, given that you have more supply of money into the system, and in this way it is true we call artificial means. My grandfather in Tobago used to mine cow, and sometimes when you want to get a calf from the cow, if you don't have a bull, you used to use something called artificial insemination. That is where you come and you get the cow pregnant from outside of natural means. Well, the money that is coming into the country through printing is what you call artificial insemination. It's the same thing.
Oh Lord, eh?
You understand?
I get it.
All right. So it is not as a result of productivity. When the cow get pregnant through artificial insemination, it is not as a result of productivity either.
Wow.
And that is why our
activity
ecosystem is a cut above the rest, Cliff, because listen, we're encouraging people to come in, bring their skills, bring their talents and abilities into our network, right? Because the people are actually the ones with the intrinsic value. So we put confidence in currency, we put confidence in precious metals, we put confidence in land, we put confidence in other assets like shares and stuff like that. But that value is actually created based off the innovation, ingenuity, knowledge, or experience of a person, right? And so we need to understand first and foremost that we, the individuals on planet Earth, are the ones that really create value, right?
True.
And the currency that we utilize is just a medium of exchange in order for us to express that value between one another. And so what's happening is that we've gotten carried away and brainwashed with a system that we did not generate, that we did not create. Now, the creators of that system, those people are filthy rich, because when they print currency into existence, right, what they actually do is create false value that they buy and that they acquire real assets with. While the rest of us have to go to work and we have to take loans on which we pay interest, right? While these people, parade around and they live lavish lifestyles, but they live lavish lifestyle based on our hard work and productivity. Cliff said it. It's basically artificial insemination, right? But when we go to work and we are being productive, it's not artificial about that, and it's work. It's work. It's 40 hours, it's overtime, the whole 9 yards. And of course, when we borrow, we pay back the principal plus interest, right? Which is another conversation all by itself. So
but this is why the world of cryptocurrency and this is why the world of cryptocurrency is creating a community where people can become more independent, self-sufficient, and we have control over the assets. Isn't that more?
For those of viewers who have been with us regularly, would have heard me say on more than one occasion, that is what differentiates our one ecosystem from a number of other cryptocurrencies out there. A number of other cryptocurrencies out there are merely speculated on. People buy into it with the hope that it is going to increase in value over some period of time. Some people speculate and say it will happen within 3 months' time. So I buy now, and 3 months' time, I could sell it back to somebody who willing to pay a higher price. That is speculation. That is with the hope that somebody will want it more than me. Our cryptocurrency, whilst we use what we refer to as a coin, the coin is not our cryptocurrency. Each of us is the cryptocurrency. We are the ones who gives it value by using it to actually trade with. Our cryptocurrency, we just carry a name called One Ecosystem, but the cryptocurrency could really be named Dwayne KD's, Noel Jack, Donna Samlal Singh, Cliff Samlal Singh. You know why? Because we are the ones who form the link in the chain. And what do they say about a chain? It is as strong as its weakest link.
Yes,
each of us adds value or take away value. You know how we take away value? By just sitting on the sidelines and waiting to see what will happen next with the project. Or those of you who are the outside watching and saying, I wonder if that go really happen what they're saying and waiting to see. Whilst we're waiting for the community to grow, and it's growing outside of Trinidad and Tobago, and Trinidad and Tobago still lagging behind.
And maybe we need to look at the video now that shares why cryptocurrency is so important to look at. What do you think?
Might be very timely.
Let's bring on that video. Let's bring on.
I'm Ari Paul, CIO of Block Tower Capital, and this is why there's value in cryptocurrency.
Why do you fundamentally believe that there is value in this cryptocurrency world?
I'm Ari Paul, CIO of Block Tower Capital, and this is why there's value in cryptocurrency.
Why do you fundamentally believe that there is value in this cryptocurrency world?
So there are quite a few use cases. I think the biggest and clearest and easiest to understand is as a store of value that can't be censored and is resistant to seizure. And so the really clear example of demand for this that I see is the offshore banking system, which is roughly $20 trillion today. And it's not just people trying to dodge taxes. Apple, Amazon, every billionaire on the planet has wealth stored there. And firms like JP Morgan collect fees to offshore law-abiding citizens' wealth. And people want to store their wealth securely in a way that no single judge could freeze all of their assets, right? Amazon doesn't want their entire global business operation to be shut down by one judge in Brussels. They want to be able to go through a lengthy appeals process and keep their business operating. So cryptocurrency performs that same task of the offshore banking, of keeping wealth secure, an order of magnitude better. So we see massive real fundamental demand for this use case.
And what other financial assets make sense to be on a decentralized database, or why would they?
Yes, there's a huge distinction between the money use case, store of value, and the blockchain use case for other assets. And I think it's useful to kind of separate those. So a blockchain makes a ton of sense to record in real time legal title. So I was a treasury bond trader, for example, and an example in finance that anyone who's traded treasuries is familiar with is failure to deliver. So Goldman Sachs will sell a bond to Credit Suisse, who borrows it from JP Morgan, and the same bond in a day might trade across 12 banks. And if one back office fails, if they fail to make delivery of that bond, you get what's called a cascading failure to deliver, because no one knows who actually owns the bond. And that can take weeks to fix. So imagine if you just had a shared database, a database that each of those banks held, that was kept accurate in real time, and that no one could maliciously change or manipulate. You would know who owns what bond, and you might be able to eliminate half of the existing back offices of big banks. So a massive cost savings.
So you believe in the blockchain as having a value in the future for us. How does that translate into value for cryptocurrency?
So yeah, I think a really useful idea. A blockchain is just a type of database. Mm-hmm. It's a distributed ledger that in some use cases, like for a banking back office, is kind of like a database upgrade. So massive improvements in efficiency, but probably not that transformative or disruptive. When you take a blockchain and you make it public and decentralized, and then you add money to that, you add a cryptocurrency, then you're looking at something that is that first use case, that offshore banking system, that I think is fundamentally disruptive, and disruptive financially, economically, and even potentially politically.
Do you see any institutional money in cryptocurrency right now, and is that going to be a huge lever for these values to all skyrocket?
Absolutely. So we've seen this really clear path of adoption. The earliest adopters were engineers, self-described cypherpunks. Then you had a wave of kind of Silicon Valley tech elites, people who had a successful exit, who had a high risk tolerance, and who liked taking risk on new technology. Then you had kind of an early wave of maybe people like myself with a little more of a Wall Street background, as well as high net worth individuals who were a little bit risk tolerant. What we're seeing right now is a shift from small family offices to big. Venture capital firms are basically all in. So most of the famous venture capital firms, not only have they been in the space for a few years, they're now directly investing in new cryptocurrencies. And of the 10 largest family offices in the country, at least 7 of them own cryptocurrency. Maybe more, but 7 I'm sure of. So the next wave is, in kind of the institutionalization of the space, is we're having the CME futures that are likely to launch next month. There's a huge number of entrants who want to invest in cryptocurrency but can't, for security reasons, operational reasons, regulatory, but they can easily buy a future that's on the CME. So that opens the door to groups like endowments and pensions. So far, endowments and pensions own 0 cryptocurrency. You have an asset that has been the highest returning asset class over the last 8 years and is uncorrelated to everything else. And while there's certainly debate over the future prospects, it lines up as the holy grail for a portfolio in the sense that if you size it appropriately, if you size it small, the risks are idiosyncratic. It actually reduces the risk of a portfolio. So endowments and pensions, as they get comfortable with the space, in all aspects, regulatory compliance as well as underwriting the investment risk, they're going to get in. And that's a massive wall of money coming into a relatively small asset class.
And what do you think the timeline is for that?
I think the first endowment's probably going to write a check in the next few months, a small check. Endowments won't be in size for probably 6 months, and not in size from their perspective for probably 12 months. Pensions are probably 18 months away. And the reason I'm giving those dates is having third-party custody that is a legal qualified custodian is a huge hurdle, particularly for pensions. You have issues like ERISA that are actual fiduciary challenges. And having a third-party qualified custodian for many crypto assets is probably something like 12 months away, maybe 18 months away.
All right, and we are back. You saw the value of cryptocurrency and the value of blockchain, a terrific combination. Listen, cryptocurrencies are out there. They are real. People are seeing the value in cryptocurrency. A place to position your wealth, a place to position yourself, just like the offshore banks. That's what he was comparing it to. So he's letting us know that cryptocurrency is real. It is happening. He's letting us know why it is happening. Why are we still sitting here wondering what just happened?
You know what he also showed too?
Go ahead.
How much information and education you need to have to be able to relate to all that he is saying.
And what do we offer? Our one ecosystem.
We try to break
education.
it, and what we try to do is have conversations like what we have in here.
That's right.
To be able to break it down more simply so that you could not only follow up on what's going on, but that you could also be ahead of the game. That's all we're doing, because being honest with you, cryptocurrency is a new babe in town. As it might seem like a whole mouthful he spoke there, but guess what? In a year from now, maybe 6 months from now, all that he has said, those things might be not only come to pass, but those things would change because there would be an evolution into something else, right? So the horizon on which cryptocurrency is broadening all the time, and that's why we asking you guys, come on board now, avail yourself of the information that we talk from, so you could understand why we talk how we talk.
But you know why people get to where they're going? I remember this saying that says, the people become wealthy when they look at where the world is going and they go ahead of it. So the people who are wealthy tend to take up these things. When the phones were coming out, you feel they sit down and they watch and they wonder? No, they invested the money because they saw this was going to be a change for the future. When people started to do different things, the wealthy people looked at it and said, an opportunity for business. You know what we do? We look at it and say, I wonder if that will work, boy. Where thing doing? Where thing better now? You feel that will work? Not my money.
I feel it's time we get a small break. And when we come back, we hear from Brother Noel for him. So we'll come back. Brother Noel has something to hit with.
That's right. That's him waiting. So let's put a break here.
Get started now. Get started with your One Academy package. Get started with your starter package. It's only $1,600 TT. Get your financial education from the One Academy. Although it's a beginner package, the information you're going to get from your One Academy starter package, you would have more knowledge than 90% of the world's population on finance for just $1,600 TT. Let's create a revolution. Let's spread the epidemic of our One Academy, One Life. Get it today.
Welcome to the Antediluvian Nature Center of Life Extension and Health Recovery. Coming from the Garden of Eden, the Antediluvian Nature Center brings to you breakthrough medicines and anti-aging technologies for all ailments and diseases in the body, nutritional therapies, naturopathic treatments, as we create opportunities of hope and celebrate longevity. And remember, the healing is from God.
Do you know what am I speaking about? Do you know what is cryptocurrency? Do you know what is blockchain technology? Are you aware of what we currently face on a regular basis with quantitative easing, fractional reserve lending? Do you know? I am inviting you to come out of the financial darkness and into financial light. The only way for us to achieve that is with education. And one particular type of education is what I'm speaking about. I'm asking you to join the One Academy. It is a financial revolution of teaching regarding introduction to finance, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, helping you understand the world of money and what is money. What is money? Money is simple. It is what we agree upon to exchange for goods and services. If you want full comprehension, join the One Academy.
When I'm training for professional competitions, men and women always ask me for advice. To women, I say push yourself harder than you ever have before and go beyond your comfort zone. Focus on your goals. Men, if I am willing to push myself to become Mr. Olympia in 2022, then I only have one thing to say to you. Bring your
full 100.
Here we go again.
Brother Noel.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. You know, we can talk for hours about this whole thing of finance and the emerging technologies. You know, if you view the videos by Elon Musk and the creator of Amazon, Mr. Bezos, Bill Gates, with his vaccines and the vaccine card, vaccine passport, Mark Zuckerberg, I know him as Aaron Rosenberg, and his Facebook metaverse emergence. We can talk for hours upon hours. There is a hegemony, as it were, that control this thing about finance. And, you know, as Cliff rightly said, and Mr. Cadiz, it's not really being taught in schools. And so the information about finance appears to be very intricate, very technical, that the masses don't really understand. And there's a reason why. You know, there is what is called I'm getting a little into some big things we can discuss maybe in the future. There's a committee called the Committee of 300. And then we hear of the families that control the finances in the world, right? The bloodlines. You know, you hear of the Bushes, you hear of the Clintons, the Obamas, you hear of the Rockefellers, the Oppenheimers, the DuPont. You've heard of the Rothschilds, okay? And then you'll hear of the Bilderberg groups, the Bilderberg group. You will also hear of the Club of Rome, the Trilateral Commission, the Council of Foreign Relations. You've heard also of the Bohemian Society and many other secret societies and fraternities. These are what we refer to as the 1%ers that own the masses of the world. It is said that over 80% of the world's wealth, the world's assets, are controlled by these people. So you shouldn't be baffled when it comes to money that there's a monopoly and a control over it. And from time immemorial to our time or present contemporary times, nothing has really changed, right? When Jesus Christ, Yeshua Messiah, walked upon the earth, you remember the story, Cliff, you're a Bible student, he chased the money exchangers out of the temple. He picked up a cord and he chased them out. And he called them, dens of robbers. And he says, you of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and he abode not in the truth. So here we see a race of people, a class of people had control over the money. And you just have to do the research and you'll see coming down from those days, which is just after the apostles coming down through the medieval ages. These people went underground and they formed the ghettos and so on. And then, of course, in modern history, we see the formation of the Federal Reserve. All right, and we see formation of groups like the IMF, John Maynard Keynes, Harry Dexter White, the World Bank. So my point is this: we cannot control the finances of the world. We have no control over it. It is already controlled. And what we have seen is social engineering, the construct of what is going on in our society. We have no control over it. What we have to do is we have to position ourselves to capitalize and take advantage of the emerging technologies. We can't go back and get involved with WhatsApp or Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or even Facebook and the likes, the telephone companies and so on. We can't go back in time to do that. What we have right now is the emerging technologies before us: artificial intelligence, robotics, green technologies, renewable energies, digital currencies, cryptocurrency. What we are offering to the viewers is the one ecosystem, because cryptocurrency is here to stay as an emerging technology. It is not going anywhere. The blockchain is here to stay. Katie's talked about the new kid on the block. The cryptocurrency, it's really on a blockchain, and blockchain is adding value, it is adding transparency, it is adding what they call speed and efficiency. You cannot be corrupt as a government or as a minister or anybody to operate on a blockchain. So simply put, viewers, money has changed. It has already changed. We are now at the point of cryptocurrency or digital assets. And you have to get on board with it. Get on board with a company that is solid, that is strong, a company that has an ecosystem, a company that has a coin that is of a stable value. You can use that coin as we do on our e-commerce platform. Everybody's into e-commerce, right? E-commerce platform called Deal Shaker. So whereas the dollar is depreciating in value, which was created originally, our crypto is appreciating in value. As more people trust it, as more people see the usability of it, the efficiency of it, then more and more millions join. And so we can have good usage with our one ecosystems. I'm suggesting to the viewers, get with the program. We are begging you. In every crisis, there's opportunity. Get with the program, get with it fast, join our one ecosystem, and start to use your ones as an asset of value, where you can actually have increasing purchasing power, and you'll be happy. The World Economic Forum said, Carl Schurz, he says, we will own nothing and be happy. But with the cryptocurrency, you will earn some assets and you'll be happy. Yes?
Great, I love that. I want to bring up the educational packages, because you see what you just said there? Mm-hmm. They need to see the amount of education that is being offered through our one ecosystem. Let's look at some of those educational packages. Look at it. Look at it. You have starter. You have legal package building up on regulations. You have packages on forex. You have packages on finance. So when you are finished, you are well educated on what is happening in the world today, the legality of cryptocurrency and the regulations. We didn't just come by chance, you know. We came prepared to educate you so that you will understand how to use your one's cryptocurrency and to understand the world of cryptocurrency and the world of finance. Look at it. And the prices and everything is something you could afford, because let me tell you something, education, when you invest money in education, is something you will never lose. You will never lose.
I listened to Brother Noel talk there. All I could say is that remember tonight when we first started, I tell you, we addressed the source.
That's right.
Go back to it, Brother Noel went back to Jesus Christ and how we overturned the tables.
The right one, right? The right one.
Brother Noel, the only thing I could add to that is, remember, Christ was both man and God.
Yeah.
So that together with when he threw them out, he would have cussed them and things to it. It was plenty cussing. Remember, he was man too. You understand? But the Bible don't mention the manly part. You understand? So anyhow,
I don't know what to do with him again.
No, people always forget that part of the Christ. All right. The more serious note though is that to understand, since back then you had persons who tried to control the finance within the system. And it has not changed now. It's just that it has become more elaborate and more devious and mischievous, and we are the pawns in that whole system. Brother Noel shared a video there today, and I hope we can release that next week. We can share that video with you guys next week to understand why the blockchain is so important, especially in this time. When you feel you have the trust of the banking system, the very trust holders have broken their promise to the people, and we're going to share the video so you can hear that for yourself and understand why we're so passionate about what we're talking about, even when we're the minority.
I like to went on, because even though you're centralized or decentralized, remember your blockchain is your foundation. Eh? The blockchain is that data ledger, that ledger that you cannot hack, that you cannot interfere with. So it's the blockchain adding value, and that is where we at with the cryptocurrency and our ones.
Right. There's a good thing she don't work by TNTech. So her light isn't affected. You understand? So we're so glad for that. Right? But Brother Noel, you went in at length, and I appreciate that explanation. I hope the viewers understood it too and appreciated it.
Yeah. You know, guys, I've been listening to, some Pan-African contributions by the late Marcus Garvey. And his intention was really to empower persons, to create an alternative economic system to the one that exists, that marginalize a certain segment of the world's population. And today, up to today, that business model still stands. I mean, they undermined Marcus Garvey to the hilt until he left North America. But when you understand the philosophy behind the man, it's all about empowerment. And this network that we are building, that we are helping to create, is all about empowerment. No other place can you become educated, and then have an asset now that you can actually work with on a daily basis to create value for yourself and also to leave a legacy for the generation that comes after you. So our viewers, sometimes our information might be a little over the top because we've been exposed to so much, but we try to keep it practical. We try to keep it, as simple as possible, because we know that greatness lies in simplicity. And we know that you, the people, once you understand who you are and the power that you have, no one or nothing can stop you. So from all of us here, from at Beyond 2021, we want to say God bless, peace and safety, and one's out.
And see you next week. Join us, same time, same place. One's out.
Join. Join the financial revolution.
That's right.
See you next week.
Position yourself.
One ecosystem, you know them. We not frightened for nobody, but we respect everybody, and we better than everybody. So we will run with anybody. No fear, no better than we. No kind, no better than we. Step on me one and say, one ecosystem to the world you say. One ecosystem will do something, do something, do something, do something, uno do something, do something. I'm not talking. One ecosystem will do something, do something, do something, do something, uno do something, do something. I'm not bag of lip chasing. Aye.